Okay, we're downloading A-Game's formula.
3, 2, 1.
Hey all my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel, where we embrace our femininity, increase our womanly values, and celebrate our brothers. So join me on our feminine journey to learn, heal, and grow. Hi. Hey my Crimsonites, how we doing? I apologize for being late. This is late, and I am so apologetic about that. I try my hardest to respect everybody's time. Y'all expect me here at 3:30 Central, and it's 3:50. So please forgive me for being tardy to my own party, right? But we're going to get into it. This is a clip that sort of made its rounds around YouTube. And so I'm going to go ahead and play a clip of a Latino man talking about why black women aren't really fit to be wives. Now, he's giving his analysis from a male point of view, from having dated black women and things of that nature versus dating other women. And so he's coming from his perspective of having dated women. Okay? Kalita say her baby girl had a dance break. Yeah, it'll make you have a dance break, right? Oh, it's almost 10 o'clock in the UK. Hey, from the UK. So we're going to go ahead and get into this clip. I'm not going to let the entire clip play. I'm just going to let the pertinent part play because it's right in the beginning of him speaking. The clip is 17 minutes. We're not going to play a 17-minute clip, right? But I am going to share my screen real quick, and then we're going to get into it.
But why isn't a black woman raised that way?
A Spanish woman, they're raised to be a wife.
But why isn't a black woman raised that way?
Most black women are raised to be independent. Remember, let's be real. Most black women are raised to be strong, tough, independent, and don't take no shit. Because daddy wasn't shit. I raised you alone by myself. Be a strong black woman.
Why do you think that it's such an issue that a lot more black men are dating Latino women?
You know what's funny? I know where it started from. Because, back then, like in the 80s, the Spanish community, they didn't want their daughters dating black men. And for a long time, they told their daughter, don't date black men. So when the money came in the 80s and things got better, black men were able to sway the parents and get the girl. So we kind of like turn into like a trophy thing. Like, yo, I'm dating a mommy, or I'm dating a Colombian, like something that's foreign or exotic. So I kind of feel as though like when, even me in high school, if you didn't have no money, the Spanish girls didn't date you. So it's kind of like when you had a Spanish girl, finally, it was a big deal to you. So I kind of feel as though like it comes from the 80s when the black man was getting that money, buying cars, diamonds, all the gold, and the mommy wanted a part of that shit. And eventually it turned to having like a trophy, like, yo, I got a Dominican or Colombian or Brazilian. So that's where it comes from. It's the fascination. And if you peep game, most black girls don't really have a good story about their fathers, which is sad.
Now, he said a couple of interesting things. The very beginning is what's making its rounds, right? Around YouTube. And there's more. There's more to what he's saying. Okay? He actually says a little bit more than that during the clip. The clip, like I said, is 17 minutes long. It's a discussion. Okay? It's not just him talking. It's not even just the lady that you saw. It's like a couple of different people who are having this discussion from their own perspectives. But he said something that was very key in the beginning. He said Latinas are raised to be wives, right? And she said, well, why aren't black women raised like that? The immediate offense that she kind of took to him saying that, right? And I'm going to expound on that. But he said, okay, black women are raised to be independent. And see, the thing that a lot of black women don't understand is independent means by yourself. That's what that means. When you're independent of something, that means you don't need it, right? I work and pay my bills and pay my rent and stuff like that independently of government assistance, right? I'm independent of that. So then that means that the paying of my bills and rent and all that type of thing is not dependent upon government assistance because I don't get government assistance. I'm independent of government assistance. That means I don't need it. That means it doesn't really have a place in my affairs. That doesn't have a place. Right? That's what independent means. It means you are not dependent upon fill in the blank. Right? And this is the point that black women miss. The strong and independent and that entire mindset, which I'm going to kind of get into, precludes relationships and marriages, because before we can walk down the aisle, we actually have to relate to the men. And if you feel independent of them, then you are not relating to men in the way that you need to relate to them that will result in marriage. Right? So black women are striving to be independent and they're trying not to be dependent. What they're missing is that they've become codependent when they really should be interdependent. That's a whole different video that I'm not going to get into. But I am going to repeat that train of thought. Black women are busy being independent, scared of being dependent. They've ended up being codependent when they really should be interdependent. Like I said, that's a different live stream completely. Thank you, Luke Casely. Different live stream completely. We're not going to go all into that. I did a piece of content about codependency, but that wasn't even the half, okay, of all of those things, right? But in any case, I'm not going to belabor that point. Before we get back to the video, what I want to actually talk about is the raising of black women being in this independent mindset. And even though this mostly affects black women who were raised in women-only environments, meaning she didn't really have a masculine figure. She didn't have her father there. And if not her biological father, she also did not have a masculine figure to act as her father. Okay? But there is also the black girls that were raised with their father that ignored their father. They ignored their father for one of two reasons. Either A, they ignored their father and looked to their mother who was undermining the father. So here's the scenario. She's being raised in a two-parent home. The father is the leader of the home. He's showing leadership. He has a system, order, and structure. He provides the 4 P's for his family, right? Yet, despite the fact that he is doing all of these things that he's supposed to be doing as a husband and as a father, the mother undermines his masculine lessons to his daughter by giving her the game. The reason why the girls take that is because we like to feel almost conspiratorial with other women. If a woman, especially a mom, pulls you to the side and she doesn't outright tell you your father's wrong, but what she does is she gives you a different piece of information that actually opposes the information he gave you, and she's whispering to like, come on, girl. And you are at tender ages. You are in preteen, early teen, late teen. You are looking for a little bit more of almost a social friendship with your mom as you get older. You're looking for your relationship to change with your mom, right? Because at some point as a girl and you grow up into a woman, you become your mother's peer. See, you're not going to get this nowhere else. And I got 352 people viewing. I only got 150 likes. Come on. Bam, 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 bam. We got to get the likes up. Bam, bam. We got to, Come on, get the likes up, please, please, please. So a girl grows up to be a woman and she becomes her mother's peer. She actually does outgrow her mom. She outgrows her mom. She becomes her mother's peer. But see, in the backwardsness of the black culture, she becomes her mother's competition. So the game, quote unquote, that she give her daughter is a version of dirty macking. Are y'all familiar with the term dirty macking? Put a 1 in the chat if you're familiar with that term. Put a 2 in the chat if you need me to explain. Thank you, Philip J. Say if you can reach 5 out of 50, I think you will. That's still good considering the long-term damage inflicted and hyenas fighting the truth. Must start somewhere, says. And thank you so much. Thank you so much. Okay, for those of you who don't understand the colloquial term dirty mac, dirty macking is when it was used to describe what 2 men who were in competition did. If 2 men were in competition for the affections of a woman, one man would be winning the woman based on his own energy and her liking him. But the other guy tried to undermine all of that by telling her something bad about the other guy in hopes that she would view him as better than that other guy and then choose him. Did that make sense? Thank you, D Nice. So your video yesterday was stellar. Thank you so much. Did that make sense? Did you guys understand that? Yeah, Bayside, putting salt in the game. Yeah. So that's dirty macking. Okay? It's a slang term, I know, which is why I wanted to ask you all if you had heard of it or if you knew what that was. So that's what a lot of black girls' moms are doing to them. On the flip, she's tainting her daughter so that her daughter doesn't outdo her in the marriage, dating, courting market. Because instead of seeing her daughter as her peer, when she gets older, she sees her as her competition. So I'm going to sully it. I'm going to mess her up. I'm going to give her bad or faulty or flawed or sabotaged information to where she's not going to be able to do as good as me or better than me in this arena. This is especially true with single mothers, but even married mothers will do this. Okay? So the mother will get the daughter to the side. She'll pull her to the side. Her father has given her healthy, wonderful leadership already. How she should behave as a woman. How she should behave as a wife. How she should interact with men. He's demonstrated this to the best of his ability by giving her the 4 P's. He's given her provision. He's given her problem solving. He has given her protection. And he has given her procreation. Right? He has given her the love, the affection, the caring. He's embraced her. He's told her he loved her. He's kissed her on the forehead. He's taken her out on daddy-daughter dates. And you know what I'm saying? He's done. Bought her ice cream when she was little. Bought her clothes when she was older. Gave her advice. Okay? Part of his protection, part of his problem solving. You can't leave out of my house dressed like that. Thank you, Mr. Vincenzo. Thank you, Wild Bill. When your daddy told you you can't leave out of my house dressed like that, that wasn't just him trying to restrict his daughter from her freedom. That was him telling her as a man, not only as your father and your authority figure, and as your leader, I'm ordering you to do something. There's that. The authoritative, leadership aspect. I'm telling you something that you had better do. Not only that part, but the part of me that's a man, that's not your father. The part of me that has taken the emotion out of the fatherliness and you're my daughter, as a man looking at a woman, a young woman, you can't leave my house looking like that. You can't leave my house dressed like that. Because as a man, I know what other men are thinking. Because it actually entered my head when I saw you come out of the room and thought you was going to hit the door with a mini skirt. Okay? When you hit the door and you got your mini skirt on, as a father, as your authority, I'm telling you don't do that. As a man, I can tell you why not. Because when other men see you, this is what they're going to see. I could sit down and explain it to you. Why you always... And then the mother, she can wear that. See, I could Bart Simpson choke you. Don't undermine me. Don't figure behind me. I said she couldn't. These things go into the subconscious of girls. Mom's a woman. What has been her experience? She was able to get married and she think this is okay. So it's okay. Even if daddy said it ain't okay, mama said it was. Is this making sense to y'all? See what is this making any sense? Let me know. That's a blessing, Charles, that your daughters actually like wearing hijab. That's mashallah. That's a definite mashallah. Especially in this society where it's just not, we don't live in a Muslim place. Easily influenced out of it. But anyway, these were just scenarios where black girls have grown up with their fathers. Because I actually get young women that come to me in their 20s and stuff like that who tell me I still got to work through stuff. And one of the questions that I will ask is if you were raised with your father. What's your relationship with your dad? And they be like, oh, yeah, I was raised with my dad. Well, was he a good father? Was he getting ran over by your mom? Or what was the situation? No. He was a leader, and all of these sorts of things. So you just weren't listening to your dad. No, why not? And then they'll tell me about their mom. So I'm not making it up. These are the real life scenarios that people are living, right? So you've got the girl that is ignoring her father, and then you've got the girl that was raised up in the house, but her father's being ran over by her mom. Her mom is wearing the pants in this situation, in the relationship, in the household. So she sees this domineering figure of her mother that's dominating over her dad. Her dad is kowtowing to whatever her mom wants, even if it's stupid, even if it's destructive, even if it's something that is not good for the family. Right? And she's either doing this overtly or covertly. But if she's doing this as the head figure in the household, which that's the case for a lot of black households, even 2-parent households, the mom is dominating. The girl still will be raised with these backwards and masculine energies that will later on prevent her from being suitable for being a wife. Okay? So now that we covered that, let's move on to the strong and independent thing. Because a black mother will raise her daughter to be strong and independent, whether there's a man in the house or not. Are we understanding that part? They'll attempt to or will succeed in raising her daughter in a masculine mindset regardless of the presence of her father. And what this teaches is the girl to not be vulnerable, especially around men and boys, even her father and brothers if she has any. And these are the first men in her life that's giving her the 4 P's. Her father's the first man in her life, period. He's giving her the 4 P's, period. He's her first experience in this. If she has older brothers, the brothers are also participating in this with his sisters, right? So she has men in her life in close proximity to her where she should be able to be vulnerable and, as they say, rest in her femininity. But the only feminine example she got in her house is masculine. So where's she learning the feminine? The men are trying to teach her, I'm doing this, you respond this way. And then the mom, by verbal or more presently by example, she's teaching her something else. She's teaching her the masculine thought. Don't be vulnerable around men and boys, including your father and brothers, including the men who are closest to you who would never harm you. These men aren't going to hurt you, and they are not going to allow harm to come to you. My father never hurt me. Plenty of women who are listening to this, who lived with their fathers didn't hurt them, and would be a raging lion if he thought somebody was trying to hurt you. Many of us grew up with that. So sometimes it's cap when you hear these women talking about they never seen male leadership, but they grew up with their daddies who showed them male leadership. Boom, so you saw male leadership, so stop lying. But anyway, not only does it teach her non-vulnerability, vulnerability is part of femininity. Being vulnerable, being open, being soft with the men. Putting yourself in a position where he feel protective over you. He don't feel like you got this. He feel like my daughter don't got this. I gotta have it for her. And as she get older, you're really not supposed to lose that. That's supposed to be transferred to your husband. That's why your daddy walked you down the aisle. It was indicative of the transfer of responsibility. I've been giving her the 4 P's all her life. I trust you to give them for the rest of her life. She don't got this. You gotta have it for her. But black girls are raised, you got this. Like the guy said in the video, your daddy not ish, and I raised you by myself or whatever. So you got to be strong. You got to get out there. You got to do it. You got to get it for yourself. You got to, you know what I'm saying? And some women tell you how to get it in a scheming type of way. Other mothers tell you get your education, get a job. If you notice, on my thumbnail, that's Blac Chyna. Right? That's Blac Chyna. Blac Chyna not fit to be a wife. Her mama, what's her mama name? Tokyo Tony. When Tokyo Tony raised you, you're not fit to be a wife. Okay? And she not. She got married to Rob Kardashian, and that was a train wreck from beginning to end. Because she's not fit to be nobody's wife. Blac Chyna's not fit. But I digress. We're going to get back to it. Let's do this commercial break and we'll be right back.
When I'm training for professional competitions, men and women always ask me for advice. To women, I say push yourself harder than you ever have before and go beyond your comfort zone. Focus on your goals.
That's normal. Spanish woman, J.
Man,
Rome is always black.
If I am willing to push
Their mother was
myself,
very superficial things. Dating a Spanish woman for a black guy with a Spanish girl, the food is different. You know, her whole.
Okay, so we back. And I need y'all to hit the like button. I got 480 people. Was 5. 480 people. I got 386 likes. I'm 100 likes down. Bam, 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 bam. We gotta hit the like button. Bam, bam. We gotta Oh no, Miss Nicole, Blac Chyna married Rob Kardashian. They not married now, but she married him. They was married for a brief little moment and had a child, I do believe. She sure did. Okay. So, going back into the strong and independent, I may or may not even get back to that clip. I'm just going to let you know that. Going back to the independent, the strong and independent, not being vulnerable. These are parts of femininity that black women are told she shouldn't have. That she should not engage in. Okay? So she goes through life adopting masculine energy as a way to portray strength around boys and men. She actually thinks that the boys and the men in her life will respect that show of masculine energy. But in actuality, it makes them lose respect for her. And that is the thing that black women as a whole do not get. It makes the men lose respect. They just lose respect. Are you trying to be a bootleg boy? You don't know the half of how to be a man or how to be a young man or how to be an older man. You don't even know the half of this. It's a joke. It's a joke. That's why they don't take them seriously. That's why the marriage rate is as low as it is. That's why we're talking about it today, not Fit to Be Wise, because this is a joke now. Because you're not gonna be able to come over in my world and dominate and act like you're gonna be a bootleg man. Nuh-uh. You got all that masculine energy. We're not dealing with that. Going on. Black women are biologically backwards. Biologically backwards. What am I talking about? You're biologically backwards because, first of all, you don't acknowledge gender roles and or responsibilities for women, and you hold a warped sense of the gender role and responsibility and the understanding of it about men. So you don't hold nothing for your own. Audio going in and out. Let's see. I don't understand it. Connection looks really good. My connection looks good. See if y'all can refresh and see if that's better, because it seems like my connection is not dropping. Connection looks stable to me. Okay. All right. If you're having audio issues, just refresh for me. And get the likes up if you didn't. If you didn't hit the like button, go out, refresh, come back in, hit the like button. There you go. All right. So you're biologically backwards. Not accepting or acknowledging any gender roles or responsibilities as it pertains to the woman's side. And then you hold a warped view about all of that for the men's side. You've allowed yourself as a group of women to dismiss simple biological truth in order to be chaotic without check and balance. Are we getting that part? Black ladies, this woke culture, you being woke and you being, I know about the gender role and the intersectionality, and I don't have to be called a woman, and why I gotta have kids, and why I want to be the breadwinner too, and okay, all of that is why you're not married. Because here's the thing: no man, especially the types of men that black women say they want, a man with sense, a red pill man, a man that's got his life together according to the 10 life values. He has great spiritual value and family value and health value and appearance value and dwelling value. Okay? He got excellent mobility, excellent education, excellent profession, excellent leisure, excellent wealth. You want that guy. Well, that guy don't want you. And I'm going to tell you why. Put a 1 in the chat if you want to know why that guy doesn't want what the majority of black women have become. Put a 1 in the chat if you want to know. Little bit crowd participation today. All right. He don't want you because a woman who can form her mouth, form her mind in any way, shape, or form in her body, in her being, deny basic, biological, scientifically provable truth, he can't never build nothing with her. Ever. He can't lead her. He can't help her. He can't give her no 4 P's. He can't do nothing with her because she don't accept the basic truth. He can't work with her. She's unworkable. 100%. She's not gonna accept his leadership and the truth of that. She can't accept his system, order, and structure and the truth of that. She can't accept nothing. She'll dismiss it whenever. You just heard that lady that I talked about that was talking to Kevin Samuels talking about if she got a strong gut feeling, then she ain't gonna accept the facts. That kind of woman, see, a lot of women think that's small. That's huge. You will dismiss the truth whenever. I can't trust you in the trenches with me. You will only be okay when everything is okay. But what about when it ain't? What about you cool at the peak, but what about when it's in the valley? I can't trust you. You ain't got my back. I can't go to proverbial war with you. I can't do it. You will rat me out to the enemy. You will betray me. You will stab me in the back. I don't know. I can't tell what you're capable of. Because you're capable of dismissing simple biological truth. You're capable of that. So you're capable of anything, everything, and I can't trust you. Can't trust you. You running around here talking about submission is slavery, and if that man wants you to cook him something, you ain't gonna do it. And if he wants you to wash his clothes, you ain't gonna do it. And if he wants you to, I ain't none of his mama, I ain't none of his no maid, and all that kind of stuff. So when the world break down, when we get into the zombie apocalypse, and I want you, I done made a fire, and I need you to just heat the can of beans that we both got to eat for the next 2 days. Because I don't know when we going to get something else now. We found the can of beans, and you be worse than Daryl in The Walking Dead with squirrel jerky. Okay, we got a can of beans and some squirrel jerky. I can't count on you to heat it up over the fire I made, because you won't even do it in ease and comfort. So I know you won't do it in hardship. You won't even be a woman in ease and comfort. So I know you're not going to do it in hardship, beloved. Thank you, Rob Mack. Thank you so much, sweetheart. I know you're not going to do it. I can't count on you in ease. So I know I can't count on you when the chips is down. Chips up, and you still got mouth. The chips is up. They up as high as they gonna go. And you still problematic. And you think you can get married like this? That woman got defensive. Well, why aren't black women raised like that? And let me get into the defensiveness while I mentioned it. Thank you, Quell Chris. Thank you, 39 Deanna. Quell said, want to cure the gynocracy disease, shut the power down worldwide for 1 year. You're welcome. But right. Thank you, A Bathing Soul. Here's the thing about all of this, her defensiveness. Because deep down, and it ain't even all that deep, it's right on the surface. It's an insecurity right on the surface. That most black women have these gynocrats, these hyenas, got an insecurity when it comes to other women, other groups of women. The Beckys, the Latinas, the Asian women, all this type of stuff. That's why they get defensive. What does she got that I don't got? Quite a bit, actually. She got quite a bit that you don't have. And the sad part is, the parts that she got that you don't have are easily attainable by every woman. It ain't like she got this mountain of gold that you can't acquire. She ain't got nothing you can't get tomorrow. You can get it tonight if you drop that foolishness. You can have everything she get more if all you gotta do is drop that foolishness. That's all you gotta do. It's real simple. It's not difficult. It's actually not difficult. We're gonna get into what you can do to actually be fit to be a wife in a little bit. But I want to continue on a little bit with the strong and independent. We're going to wrap that part up. The part about you dismissing biological truth. This woke culture, feminism, alphabetism, all these other isms and schisms have allowed you to ignore and dismiss biology by conflating it with culture. And once you conflate biology with culture, you can then seek to make biology be anything because you can change culture at any time. Did that make sense to y'all? Y'all probably need me to break that down. See, this is where we get gender roles are societal constructs that don't have any basis in biology. That's what I'm talking about. So if we make gender roles, if we take gender roles and separate it and sever it from its biological root and then attach that to culture instead and then say the culture is backwards, well then you can just say it's a societal thing, it's a societal construct, and we don't need it because it doesn't have anything to do with our biology. So I can then call things like submissiveness, softness, insight, nesting, and all that type of stuff. I can then say that that stuff is slavery and we was only doing it because of the patriarchy and yada, 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 yada. But really, the reality is we supposed to be this way. Did y'all understand that? Did that make sense to y'all? Put a 5 in the chat if it made sense. Okay. And I want to, well, you know what? I'm not going to do that. Let me just continue. So because you're able to conflate biology into something that's cultural and separate it from its biological root. Thank you, Patrick. Say you raise the level of consciousness for those who have an open mind for truth. All praise due to Allah. Thank you. Thank you so much. Because you're conflating the two, you're able to convince yourself that biology is all in the mind. Just like that confused young lady I was talking about who didn't know what was a man, didn't know what was a woman. Because she's not thinking it's biological. She successfully separated the fact of that biology and put it into a social construct. Now she's confused about it. But then that allows a lot of women to escape the reality and the purpose that your biology actually serves. So a lot of black women don't think that her submission serves a biological purpose. It does. It's not a social construct. I keep going back to the example of the zombie apocalypse. And the reason why I do that is because the only reason that we have the luxury of ignoring our men is because the men have civilized the world to such an extent that we have become detached from the reality of the harshness of the world. And when I say zombie apocalypse, I don't even mean zombies. I'm just talking about an apocalyptic situation where the world and society as we know it breaks down to where people are on survival mode only. No ease, no comfort. That's what I'm talking about. When we don't have the comforts anymore. When you got to go out there and be in the elements. When there's no police to call. When you don't just get to go to the grocery store and get some food. When you actually gotta rely on the men around you for every part of them 4 P's. Thank you again, Quell Chris. So I had to divorce every woman in my family because they shunned my new traditional lifestyle. I decided to marry a traditional man and we're very happy. Yep. And congratulations. That's what I'm talking about. I keep breaking it down to that because that actually gets rid of every social construct. And it only is biology. So you have to only deal in the truth then. The truth about the human nature is laid out for all to see at that point. Because when we talk about shows and movies that depict this type of thing, and I'm going to go back to The Walking Dead because most people have seen that, we understood it was very apparent how the women just fell. They had to fall into place or they had to die. So hard-headed women, gone in the first 2 seasons. Hard-headed women that thought they were still operating on, we could do everything that the men, gone. Gone. All of that foolish manipulation, over. Women who engaged in that either got themselves killed or they got other people killed or in harm's way due to that thinking. Women that didn't know how to follow orders, gone. The men too, for that matter, couldn't follow the leader, out of there. Let's get to how you actually become fit to be a wife. If you are an adult black woman, you're responsible now for your own thought patterns, your own mindset, and your own trajectory for your life. The excuses about what your mama did or didn't do, what your daddy did or didn't do, this one and that one. Okay, it may not have been your fault, but now it's your problem. Now you gotta correct that. I want to address something earlier that was stated by Just Jay. I can't scroll back, but she was saying how it hit different when the men of your group are telling you that you're less than. And I'm paraphrasing her. And it do hit different. It should hit different. It should hit you right in your lady gooch. Okay? It need to hit you right in your lady gooch. Right there. Double you right on over. You just a stomach ache all night. It ought to make you sick to your stomach. Because the men are now saying you're falling short on the simple things. You're falling short on the basics. Because we're asking you for the basics and you can't give them to me. Y'all, y'all tripping on. I don't even remember where I picked that up from. Thank you, Gary. Said I like Walking Dead at first, then the gynocracy took over. Yeah. The later seasons are stupid. But the early seasons, them first 5-6 seasons, gold. But anyway, it should make all the women listening sick to their stomach to know that our men who have actually been quite patient, who are really some of the most egalitarian men in the Western Hemisphere. Thank you, Safe Moon. Tell us. We need the basics from women. We need your femininity, not conditionally. We need you to help us be. You need to be a helpmate. We need your support. We need your feminine support. We need your insight. We need all of these things from you that you're supposed to have inside of you. Not something you getting from all of these other places or something you gotta buy or something you gotta pay for. This kind of stuff should be in you. We need your insight, beloved. We need your understanding of nesting. We need your understanding of beauty. We need your fertility. We need your chaos. We just got to be able to put it under a construct, under our order. Thank you, Dwight. So in the show Different Strokes, there was a character named the Gooch. They was a bully. We need your submission to pair with our leadership. We need your selfishness to pair with our selflessness. We need your hypergamy to pair with the polygamy. We need your ability to push us further and further and further. We need that. We need your power to pair with our strength. And we need your ability to pass on culture to pair with our ability to create culture. We need you. And you're coming up short. We have to recognize that what is being asked of us to become wives, not kept women, not side pieces, not just, you have the ring on for 2-3 years and then you get to tell everybody you was married and all that kind of stuff and then you ditch the guy. No, not that. We're talking about being eligible, fit for a wife. That happens in the mind and the heart. It happens in the spiritual value. It happens in the internal values. This happens and manifests itself, ladies, when you address your spirituality. Not your religion. Not necessarily talking about your religion. Thank you, Fit Feminists, that don't be afraid to see professional assistance to help you navigate and overcome some hurdles you've experienced or still dealing with. Exactly. Deal with your spiritual self and deal with your health. Many of us need therapy. Probably should seek out a male therapist because a lot of that is we missing that masculinity. Probably should seek out a man. I would actually suggest that to get you could get his foresight. Another woman can't really give you that. She'll be educated in that field, but you need that masculine foresight. I would recommend it. That's part of your spiritual and your health value. If you need professional help, please seek it. Please seek it. That is not a knock on you. That is something that is built to give you, that you can use to have true empowerment to go on with the rest of the 10 life values and dealing positively within them. Thank you, Mahir. Said we all are warned about how Shaitan will cause us to deface our very own natures. And on the day of judgment, Shaitan will clearly state that he didn't make us do anything. He only suggested, and we listen. Yep. Thank you, mashallah. Brother, the Shaitan will be sitting at the gates of Jahannam giving a bayan. A bayan. I didn't make you. I only suggested it. You had other orders. You had orders from Allah that you ignored. That's on you. I was only doing what I do. Anyway, don't make me preach now. But anyway, ladies, your spiritual, your health value, I'm going to wrap this up in a little bit. Your health value, all of that, your spiritual and your health is always tied together. It's always tied together because bad health indicates you being in a bad spiritual space. And when you get in better spiritual spaces, typically your health follows that emotionally, physically, and mentally. Deal with your family. Are you already married? You have to rectify that. That's your family. It's not always about your extended family. It's about your nuclear family that you in the house with every day. What are the relationships with these people? Is it strained? Do you find yourself not being able to talk to your husband? Y'all can't communicate unless it's time to go to bed. And sometimes not even that because the communication in every other area is so bad that you can't even find no enjoyment in the bed. You can't even find enjoyment in your intimacy with your husband. You don't kiss, you don't touch, you don't flirt, you don't feel on each other, you don't say little things to each other, and you know, all that good stuff. Romantic stuff and the nasty stuff too. You say, you know, I love you and give roses, and then, you know, hey, it's that, hey, you know, I got this thing over here, you know, what you gonna do about this? You know, you the mechanic, ain't you? And I think I need a tune-up. You ready to give me a tune-up? You got to flirt with your husband. But you can't do that if every other area in your marriage is strained and bad. Right? You can't have the enjoyment of that intimacy. And if your marriage is strained and you got kids, they can feel it, even if you never talk to them about it. They feel the lack of love and the disconnect between their parents. So you have to heal that. Many a times it's in the communication first. How are y'all speaking to one another verbally? How are you speaking to one another in body language? Is it a lot of huffing and puffing, a lot of inhaling and exhaling? I got to start this solution part sooner than this. Is it a lot of inhaling and exhaling around every time he say something? You know, that's a lot of breath. What, you having an asthma attack? Children get a kick out of seeing their parents lovingly interact with one another. It frightens children to see the opposite. Scares them. It shakes the foundation of the thought of their security because they think their parents gonna split. But when they see their parents laughing, joking, flirting with one another, loving one another, being affectionate with one another, that brings joy to the children. Even if they tease about it, mama, daddy, you know, whatever, that make children happy. Deal with your appearance value. Your outer appearance, yes, make sure that's on point. Even in the house, we got this backwards mindset that we be getting our face beat, hair did, nails did, everything did when we go outside, and then we be in the house looking like a hoot nanny, looking like who did it and what for. No. If you're out there in the world, a superstar, be a superstar in the house. Because your husband is going out there seeing other superstars. And he needs to come home and see one in his house. You're looking good. You smell good. You know, when he pass you, he needs to be able to smell that Dior. He needs to be able to smell that Chanel. At least let him smell some cucumber melon. Okay? That mix in real good with the smell of chicken fried. It sure do. Get your dwelling value together. This is the last one. Get your dwelling value together. The energy of that house should be so peaceful. It should be so inviting. It should be so warm. it should be so loving. People should just be able to feel the love in that house when they step in. They should be able to feel God in that house when they step in there. People come to your house. You ever been to somebody's house and you ain't want to leave their house because the energy was so good? They made you feel welcome. They made all of that. And that's just how they maintain their house. You don't be wanting to go back to your chaotic realm that you living in. I've been to people's house like that, so calm. You be like, what is you doing in here? Whatever you doing in here, I need to do it too. And that go back to your spiritual value. Because the energy of your dwelling directly affect what's going on in your spiritual self and the spirit of the people in the house. Because energy ain't nothing but another word for spirits. I think I'm done. This wonderful lesson was brought to you by A-Game. What is A-Game? A-Game is a male herbal solution. 21 awesome herbs, no artificial ingredients. So fellas, if you want to be on your A-Game, ladies, you got men in your life that you want on their A-Game, click the link at the top of the chat, agameherbal.com, and get your 10% discount using the code Kendra10. And you can have this box of awesomeness delivered to you ASAP. Tomorrow you want to tune in because we're going to have a special show for you tomorrow. We got a special guest. I am Shalakemia, and I know that y'all are familiar with the sister. We're going to have an awesome conversation, a deep conversation tomorrow. You don't want to miss it, so please tune in. All right. And I am going to wrap this up. Oh, a special thanks to everybody. Y'all contributions, both through Super Chat and Cash App. And thank all of my team. Without them, none of this is possible. So a warm thank you to them. I am going to wrap this up and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Bye-bye, Crimsonites. Hey guys, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. And if you've got more to say on the topic, leave a comment down below. Also, don't forget to support our sponsor who so graciously supports this channel by clicking the description box and the link for A-Game at agameherbal.com. You can go ahead and get a 10% discount off of your next purchase using the code Kendra10. This has been yet another Crimson Cure production, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.